Hi, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. It's great to be with you and thanks for tuning in. We're on a mission to bring more financial and real wealth to everyone. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently trading at 47,389, down nearly 1%. Ethereum trading at 33.46, up 5.23%. If you look at the market, what I see is in no way or sign a crash or a correction of any sort. What I see is a lot. For example, Sol and Dot, Atom, ETH, Uni, Phantom, Algo, they're all coming up. That generally says that there's strength in the market. Just because Bitcoin is going down a little bit is not really anything to be concerned about. I've hidden knowledge gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. Our community is all about real wealth. Real wealth is much more than money. It's about inner and outer peace, balance, being satisfied, gratitude and happiness, fulfillment and meaning, and of course, fearlessness. That's a really big part of what we do inside the community. In episode 217, we talked about strength. We're going to just focus a little bit more deeply on that. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Your struggles develop your strength. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength." I know a lot of people inside our community are struggling with all sorts of things. People reach out to me and direct message me all the time on Twitter and on Facebook. I'm really touched by what you say and what you share with me. Keep going. There's a really old quote, when you're going through hell, keep going. Confucius said, "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." So true. In life, as in trading and investing. And we know every investor becomes a trader anytime they buy or sell. Traders do their best not to buy at the top and sell at the bottom. That's the real reason that you want to understand trading, even if you don't actively trade as an investor. Another thing, traders also seek to get out close to the top. Traders know that they can't get out at the top, but they seek to get out near the top. It's just like tops only occur after the fact. Bottoms only occur after the fact. No one has a crystal ball, but trading is all about probabilities. Using those probabilities can make a huge difference in your returns, and that's what investment is all about. Turning to KS zone analysis, the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Strength and courage and never giving up is a really important ingredient in your success in investing or trading. Zone 1 is the fear zone. Zone 2 is the blame zone. Zone 3, where we use probabilistic fearlessness, is the patience and rule zone. Zone 4 is the meaning zone. Zone 4 is probably the most valuable zone that there is. Having a lot of money without having meaning is a recipe for literally disaster. Inside our community, we focus on what's really important. Meaning and fulfillment is really important. Authenticity, inner and outer peace, those things are what wealth should bring. We focus on getting those things before the wealth comes and as the wealth comes. Wealth is simply a journey. Moving through the zones 1, 2, 3, 4 is not easy. You require strength. True strength is psychological. That's why we spend so much time on the psychological state. Crypto is so volatile. It can swing by 30, 40, 50, 60% within a couple of days, or much sooner than that. It's really important to develop your psychological strength. That's what we're all about here. I'd like to say thank you to all the very generous and beautiful people in our community who've reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. It's really lovely of you. I very much appreciate it. And I love the comments that you write. They're so heartwarming. Thank you so much. As a way of saying thank you from me to you personally, I will be bringing out a new video just for the Coffee Club as my way of saying thank you so much. I'll be bringing that out next week. Rule 174, T-Cube method, trend, timing and trigger. We're going to look at timing now. Using the KS method, first of all, we start to look through the news through the eyes of a new investor to crypto. We're just basically looking at the headlines, trying to figure out if it's positive or negative. If it's positive, we'll think about buying. If it's negative, not so much. Remarkable on-chain metrics could spell Bitcoin, Ethereum, bull market return. Ooh, that's fantastic. What are these dudes doing? Shouldn't they be wizards or something? I guess it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin price prediction. Bitcoin bulls show resilience. Good on you, bulls. Watch, El Salvador's Bitcoin commercial goes live. They've got a commercial? First ever made by a national government. Oh, that's awesome. I'd love to see that. Is another Bitcoin crash inevitable? Hang on a second. There's a balloon and a pin. Oh no, I thought we were going to have so much fun. Oh, I don't know. What's happening? That's really negative. That's a downer. Bitcoin dominance breaks down. Oh no, it's broken down. And resumes a descent towards range lows. Oh, that must be very negative. Don't worry, I understand what Bitcoin dominance is, and I know what it means. I'll take you through that in another episode. This could trigger strong upward push for Bitcoin Cash. Oh, nice. That's very positive. Oh, I should buy some. Bitcoin Daily. Crypto is not a currency, says South Africa's central bank governor. Of course it's not a currency. It's digital asset. Oh, what's this? Very interesting. Okay, what do we got here? Canaan cements strategic partnership. Ooh, he cemented it. I hope it's not cement boots or something. Cements partnership with Genesis Digital Assets. Ooh, via milestone sales contract. It's got milestones in it. This must be good. What do I buy? The Bitcoin mining machines. Oh, I don't want a mining machine. Man fakes own kidnapping. That's a really good effort. How would you do that? And runs off with USD 1.15 million? Hang on. They're writing an article about him. I guess he didn't get away with it. What is that thing that we say? Unearned is returned? Maybe he didn't get the memo. Cryptocurrency scams and what they teach us about. Oh yeah, those scams are everywhere. If you're making comments or you're seeing the comments in the YouTube comment section, you can see we get so many impersonators in there, like these guys. What a shame. Let's check investment substitutability. The proxy for stocks, S&P 500, up 29% for the past year. Gold down 8%. Bitcoin up 304%. When new investors look at these incredible returns, they say, wow, cryptos just go up. Unfortunately, they come down too, and they can come down really fast and really hard. That's why I always say crypto is volatile. What I'm basically saying, crypto can move around 10, 20, 30% in a day. It doesn't have a problem doing that. It's all really nice when it moves up by 10, 20, 30%, but when it moves down, people get really, really scared. It's just a nature of an exponential asset class. It's normal. When China basically evicted the miners from China, the hash rate was distributed around the world. However, we can still see that the hash power, 65% of it is still inside China. This is live data. It's really important to separate the news stories from the facts. That's why I always give you source data. I really want you to be very empowered on your journey. Turning now to the Bitcoin stablecoin supply ratio SSR oscillator, we can see stablecoins are making their way into Bitcoin, and that is increasing at an increasing rate. There's been a slight drop off here, but that's all par for the course. Everything moves in waves. It's not straight up, it's not straight down. It's all very wavy. It's also good to look at the futures open interest across all exchanges. You can see the price here. That white line is the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin tends to correlate very strongly with the amount of open interest. We can see it's come down a bit, as well as the Bitcoin price. You can see the Bitcoin price starting to come up. We would expect more open interest in the market to support that. Rule 302, study the top. This is a really important thing to do in trading and investing, but especially in life. Turning to crypto total market cap, we can see the market has overcome this resistance. Earlier in the day, it looked pretty bad. It looked like we would lose this support. But we're not really worried about things because the trend is looking quite good. Total has come up to $2.106 trillion. We have currently 11,512 cryptos. Wow, we got a lot of cryptos. They're all represented in the value of this particular chart. That's why it's such a great chart to look at. Liquidations over the past 24 hours, nearly 410 million, occurring across 85,948 traders. 53% of the liquidations over the past 12 hours were short. Looking at Binance derivatives, 24-hour trading volume, 82.1 billion, 24-hour open interest, 11.7 billion. Now it gets really interesting with these stats. This is a very big part of why we need to look at the price momentum underneath the market. If we were headed to an imminent correction, basically there would be very, very few double-digit, that means above 10% gainers. The top action for changes in the contract price in the past 24 hours are KSM, then followed by Atom, Sol, FTM, Algo, DOT, Ren, Seller, CTK, SRM, Uni, and Sushi. The negative side of the market, Carver, Alice, LRC, AVAX, CHR, Bake, AXS. We can see that's a lot of NFT plays in here. If you managed to catch the previous episode 218, we actually did an analysis of the NFTs protocol, looking at the top 16. That's really quite interesting to see how it's all coming together. What do we notice about some of those positive movements in here? They're DeFi orientated. Well, let's look into DeFi next. Not in this video, I'll just bring out a small video to look into DeFi. I think that could help out the community. Turning to Bitcoin, let's have a look at the Fear and Greed Index. The Fear and Greed Index is currently measuring greed at 73. We don't see any problems across the stable coins. Everything looks stable across the stable coins. That's very cool. We can have a look at the futures and the options for Bitcoin. The perpetual futures are currently long. Turning to the options data, the put-call ratio is 0.52. Total open interest has increased to 55,405.4 and max pain has come up $2,000. What that means is the max pain level has just shot up here from 40 to 42. You see, I'm drawing this all in for you so that you can see how max pain actually changes around. The other thing I'd like to bring to your attention is that a couple of days ago, well 4 days ago, we talked about stable coins, the greatest losses over the past 24 hours. There were quite a few stable coins in there, and I said just keep your eye on what that means. Now let's go back and think about what actually happened there. The market was getting a little overheated, and it didn't mean that the market would come down. I just drew it to your attention as something that you can notice over time. There's some degree of association, but it just means that it could have just come down a little and gone up a lot. But what we've seen is price has actually come down and literally bounced from this 200-day moving average. It hasn't touched it yet, but the concept is it's bouncing. It's a real gem to be able to look at the stable coins being in the top 7 or 24-hour percent losers. I think that's going to be a gem moving forward. But remember, don't jump on it too quickly, because they can stay there for quite a while, especially when things start to rock and roll. The other thing I'd like to point out is this RSI indicator. Remember a couple of days ago I was saying that the RSI is showing improvements in strength. That's actually now being reflected in the price. Bitcoin is currently 25.81% below its previous all-time high. Let's have a look at Ethereum. What we see here in Ethereum, the 200-day moving average is really strong. Price is way above the 200, the 100, the 50. It's above the 26-day exponential moving average, and it's really starting to break out. This is a pretty good sign. Ethereum is currently 26.52% below its all-time previous high. We can see pretty much on the flipping, Ethereum has not flipped Bitcoin, but we've seen an increase in market cap from 41.2% to 43.8%. Let's have a look at the futures and the options. Looking at the futures, the perpetuals are currently short. The put-call ratio for options expiring at the end of the month is 0.56. That's the end of next month. Total open interest is also increased, 330,387. Max pain is the same, remaining at this 1920 line. Since EIP 1559 was introduced, $491 million has been burned. You'll notice that the relative strength index gave us a bit of a forewarning of this particular move. You see how it broke from this resistance. It came up, treated it as support, and now it's starting to party. Turning to Bitcoin's technical analysis, Bitcoin is currently trading at 47,898. It's coming up to this resistance line. When it gets above that, I think we're going to see some really interesting behavior in Bitcoin. I know that it's trying to take out this 50,000 mark. If we consider where the perpetuals are, where the derivatives are, we're seeing a lot of underpinning price momentum inside the market. That always restores confidence. Confidence being restored could be enough to take out this 50,000 mark quite soon. Let's keep our eye on it. If we look at support levels, Bitcoin has a support at 47,819, 47,206, 46,566, and 45,830. Turning to Ethereum's technical action, Ethereum is currently trading at 34.16 and 38 cents. It's doing really well. It has support below at 33.94.71, 33.19.94, 32.22.33, and 31.30.45. We said in the earlier episode that Ethereum was holding up really well. It had this support and it hadn't broken it. We've also seen it get above this resistance. Look at that, it shot out Sharp angles reversed, reflected, it came down to test this once resistance, now definitely support. It came out in a channel and shot up. It's probably in all likelihood going to test this line on the way up. Now, an interesting thing is that people say, oh, well, look, you know, it's doing so well, it's disobeying Bitcoin's gravity. For example, people could say, Ethereum is up 8%. Look, Sol and DOT, they're all rocking and rolling. They're partying, KSM. And look at Bitcoin, it's tiny. So how does gravity play in here? Bitcoin's gravity is of a directional nature. You can see Bitcoin's price here going up and down. Notice this upward spike here in Ethereum's price. What was Bitcoin doing? It went up, it dragged Ethereum up with it. Bitcoin came down, and notice the waves almost perfectly following. This is exactly happening right in here. What we're seeing, Bitcoin's price came up, and this was, if you like, leveraged through the alts. The alts always leverage Bitcoin's price direction, either positive or negative. It's true sometimes they go out of sync, and they are really, really good things to look at, but around 98% of the time, they're directionally correlated. I've just made Bitcoin's fingerprint a little bit more dark, so it's probably easier to see. You see this upward spike in Bitcoin's price. Note how Ethereum came up. Look at the consistency in this pattern. It is literally gravity. Down here, wobbled a bit, up, shot up, down, shot down there. Bitcoin came up, Ethereum came up. And now Bitcoin is flattening out a little bit. Look at what's happening to Ethereum. It's just incredible. When you know this, when you see this, you cannot unsee it. This is playing out on every single crypto throughout the whole crypto space. If you know this, you're way ahead of most people. Let's turn to the top 7% movers over the past 24 hours and 7 days. The top 7 are currently Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Binance Coin, Tether, XRP, and DOGE. Let's have a look at the 24-hour percent gainers, the greatest gainers. Arweave, Celo, One, Atom, Kusama, Solana, and Phantom. The greatest 7-day percent gainers, Arweave, Celo, Rev, Sol, FTM, XTZ, that's Tezos, and Perp. The greatest losses over the past 24 hours, Rev, BSV, Cake, AVAX, AXS, Axie Infinity, Engine Coin, ENJ, AMP. The greatest losses over the past 7 days, XDC, Dash, AMP, SHIB, TEL, MIOTA, which is IOTA, and SNX, which is Synthetics. Let's have a look at the Binance top cryptos. This is around the top 33, ranked by percentage movement over the past 14 days. We can see AVAX out in front, up 86.42%. Sol, look at this. Sol is taking off like a rocket. Rockets. We like rockets. It's up 83.32% just right now. Atom is the next one, up 53%. XTZ up nearly 50% over the past 14 days. ADA up nearly 38%, followed by Luna, Algo, DOT, BNB, ICP up around 10%, Ethereum up 8%, XMR, FTT, and Bitcoin. I've been trading for over 30 years, and I can say Rule 109 is one of the most important that you can actually understand. It's enhanced pattern recognition. It's very profitable to get an understanding of the patterns of what you're investing or trading in. Let's have a look at the weekly candles on the top 8. We're seeing the price action of Bitcoin on a weekly basis. We see this incredibly strong weekly support line coming up through here. When we look at the 3-day, we'll look inside that box. When we look at the 4-hour, we'll look inside that particular box. That just gives you a bit of a comprehension on what we're looking at. This weekly upward support line is very, very strong. If Bitcoin was to come down at all, we would expect it to stop around the 39,000 mark. If that was to happen, we're not saying that's going to happen, but with crypto, who knows? We know that things go up and down all the time, and there will be a little bit of volatility in the next up run. It's really important you prepare yourself mentally for that. I've been bringing it out consistently for the past couple of weeks. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum's got very strong weekly support and it's a long way above. Cardano, very strong weekly support and it's above it. Binance Coin, strong weekly support, a lot of positive air here. It's doing really well. XRP came down and touched that support and it's since resumed off. This is nothing more than natural price action. DOGE is looking a little bit weak, but it had quite a rally up here. It's probably just overextended itself a little bit. It just needs to take a bit of a breather before it goes again. DOGE is a very powerful coin and it has an incredible community behind it. DOT, look at this really beautiful support line. Now DOT's in the process of taking off. We can see DOT is just up 12.14% as we speak. And that's on the weekly basis. Sol is doing really, really well. Wow, good on you, Sol. Now we're drilling into the 3-day time frame. When we look at Bitcoin, we see that support is being held. Price is currently above that support. That's all really good. Have a look at Ethereum. It's broken out from this resistance. Go ETH. Cardano is very extended at the moment. We would expect waves up and down as part of natural price action. Let's have a look at Binance Coin. Binance Coin is just retracing to support. XRP broke through this secondary support line, but has found some strength. It's seeking to resume back up. Let's have a look at DOGE. DOGE on the 3-day has good support below it at around the 24-cent mark. It's just consolidating its price literally as we speak. DOT has previously broken below this support, so it became resistance. Now it's rallying back up, seeking to turn the 3-day resistance line back into support. Have a look at Sol. Sol's having an absolute party. Let's turn to the 4-hour now. Look at Bitcoin. It's holding this support until just recently, and it's turned that into resistance. Now, in this chart, can you see any potential support level? If you drew a line through here, what about that? What would that look like? Can you draw it with your eye? This is a really, really good skill to get. See if you can do it. Does it look like that? That's a really interesting line. We can see the price could be supported around the 45,202 mark. It's quite a clear channel of support given the recent price action. Now, is that the only support that we could see? What else do you think there is? Do you see a line down here? This was once resistance and actually turned to support. How would you draw a line down there with your eye? Would it look something like that? Don't forget you're an artist. With technical analysis, you do what you feel is right. Just so long as you're consistent, that's all that really anyone is looking for. It's really important to think that this is like your canvas. You can paint whatever you wish on it. Some people do some really crazy paintings, very impressionistic, like dinosaurs and things like that. Hey, if you like that, why not? Let's have a look at ETH. Ethereum has come up. This line has been quite strong as a support line. Bit of wobbling around here, but it's now acting back as a support line. That's really good. ADA, Cardano, what are we seeing here? This support coming up. It's a very tight support line. What if we actually cloned it? You see this bottom here and this bottom here. If we clone that line, what would it look like? Perhaps something like that. Just so long as we join these touches, it's all good. We can see that ADA is seeking to overcome some resistance there, and it's getting really close to doing it. Go ADA. Binance Coin is literally bouncing off that secondary support now. XRP is consolidating inside this particular cradle. DOGE is starting to form. I'll tell you a little bit about what I see here. This is a low. This is also a low, but it's a higher low. So it's forming a higher low. It's actually broken across this tight resistance line. It's starting to ascend. It's starting to go up. That's pretty cool. Let's have a look at DOT. You remember this channel of support. Look, DOT's taken off. Go DOT. And lastly, Sol is doing really well. It's breaking out on this 4 hour. It looks quite good. We could have a retracement back to this support, and that would be entirely healthy. When price gets too extended away from support, it tends to snap back like this. You can see other charts where it goes literally straight up and it comes literally straight back down. That's always a worry. You want some form of touching of the support as it bounces up. They're the safer plays. I'll just explain a little bit further about what coming back to touch this line could mean. Potentially, if Solana comes back and touches this support line and keeps on going, that could be around a 20% fall in value, depending on the spikes, the tails. Just keep that in mind. Cryptos are really volatile. If you're layer buying, you're going to take advantage of these particular things that would be a problem to other people, but an advantage to you. We're now going to look at community requests. Rule 444 is a really important one. Ignore tips, advice, and marketing. We're going to go through these coins because the community loves them, but that doesn't mean you should buy any of them. Really do your own research. It's really important. And if you like what you see, absolutely get into it. But it's always important to just be independent. Let's have a look at Chainlink. Chainlink is currently on the other side of resistance. It's doing quite well. It's being supported underneath, but it has some overhead resistance here. Cosmos, Atom is doing really well. Very nice upward channel in this. Price is broken out. We can see when price goes up straight up, this is what I was talking about. Price going straight up needs to come back and get supported. That's just a picture of price action in reality. When we see something like this, it's really good to layer your buys if you're interested in getting into Cosmos. Let's have a look at Quant, QNT. QNT is coming back to support. It's still under a bit of resistance here. If you just drew a line in with your eye, you could see some resistance. Let's have a look at AMP. What mischief AMP is up to. It's very spiky. As a trader, you could do quite well with this, placing buy orders seriously away from the bulk of price action. And when it pings back, you could sell it. Or, for example, you could buy down lower and seek to sell a spike up. AMP is really well loved by the community. VET is a little bit below this current support. It's under a channel of resistance, but just literally just about across over it. When VET starts to trade at around 13 cents, I think we're going to see some fireworks. EGLD, we can see EGLD has some upward support. Of course, this is drawn back from a past thing that you can't see. It's kind of off the screen at the moment, but we can see that EGLD has crossed this resistance and is resuming up very strongly. VRA, quite an outperformer, is doing quite well. It's holding this support line. It bypassed this once resistance, it's turning it into support. As the main market turns around, I expect VRA to do quite well. Let's have a look at comp. Comp is currently below support, and we're just waiting on it to get above this resistance. If you draw it in with your eye, when comp gets to around 460 to 470, it will start to repair that technical damage. Let's have a look at Luna. Luna has got a lot of support coming up here. Secondary support over resistance, come back, retested and resumed up. Luna looks quite good. Let's have a look at MATIC. MATIC had upward support, turned to resistance. It has this resistance line, but it's now turned to support. With the main market turning around, I think we'll see some really interesting stuff happen with MATIC. Let's have a look at Telcoin. Telcoin had this support, turned to resistance, turned back to support, turned to resistance. This once resistance line is now support. We're going to see some evening out of TEL around this area, around the 0.02103 mark. I think it's looking quite good. Looking at Harmony 1, it's done really well. Look at this exponential price action. That's what cryptos are all about. They love doing stuff like this. But of course, when they do stuff like this, they tend to do stuff like that, come back. So that's why these support lines are really, really important. And that's why we don't FOMO. As a community, we're always buying in layers, just going down and down and down to the support or around there. One looks quite good. MTV is literally at support now. With the main market starting to turn around, this could be really interesting to watch what happens next. LRC, loop ring, is above its support. It looks to be overcoming resistance. And when we look at the main market, we can see that things are looking up. This could be a really quite interesting play. Having a look at XDC, we can see the pattern of XDC is quite different to others. If we just extend that resistance line a little bit and this support, now resistance line a little, we can see XDC unfortunately has got a lot of overhead resistance. But if you're a fan of XDC and you love it, this is an ideal time to do your layer buying and reduce your overall average buy price. Let's have a look at Icon. Icon is being supported by this lower support line. It's just literally turning that to support. It used to be resistance. It's also seeking to overcome this resistance level. That's looking really good. Go Icon. I hope you found the content useful. The Crypto Trading KS community is on a mission to bring more financial and real wealth to everyone. Please consider sharing this video if you think it will help others. Hang on a second, you made it to the end. I gotta give you some bonuses. 1 sec. Of course, the most important thing, we need to start off with our secret word, rocket. And what better thing to show than the KS model when we're talking about rockets. Rocket, moon, get out of here, rocket, go back to Earth. We're currently in the bull market psychology phase of the bull run. Now, a lot has been said about potential derailings or black swans. Have a look at these black swans. Every time you see a lightning bolt, it is actually a black swan. We get them all the time. They don't derail much. Sometimes black swans are repaired within a week. Sometimes they last a little bit longer, but we really don't worry about them. We just deal with it if and when it comes. I've done a realignment based on the on-chain metrics to try and give you a directional idea of where Bitcoin's price is going for the month of September. What we can see here, we could have a little bit of price turbulence as expected by past price action. That is perfectly fine. We're not worrying about that. What we're looking at is something like this. We'll check out and see how it plays out. The on-chain metrics are looking really good and the price action is also looking fantastic. If we were expecting a big market correction, as has been discussed by some commentators in the crypto space, that would be coming out in the actual technicals. Smart money is not caught by surprise. It moves very quickly and very early. We're not seeing anything like that currently. So if you made it this far, that's just fantastic. You're very special. You're a committed person. That's just beautiful. Maybe you would like to say something about rockets or moons or rocket get out of here or Earth. You can be as creative as you like. It's your artistry. I'd love to see your comments. I'd like to say a really big thank you to our moderators and admins for keeping our community safe from scammers. Those scammers are relentless. If you're new, please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from. And of course, if you have any questions, you'll find us a fantastic community, really supportive. If you would like updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube, and you can join free groups on Facebook and Discord, and you can follow me also on Twitter. I've left details in the description of this video. Always remember, crypto is volatile. Please prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.